Hello again, this is the OK 117, and this is my take on Watchdogs 3 since how I have been playing this game for the past week or so, and I've been less than impressed from day one. The first thing I want to get across is the fact that this is not a Watch Dogs bashing video. This is me literally giving a take on what I've been experiencing for the past week, because not only did I experience multiple crashes that took my enjoyment out of the game, there were so many bugs and glitches left, right, and center. It was seriously just completely buggy from day one, and also the fact that I played through the majority of the story now. I finished the game, and I literally could not tell you anything about the actual story because I was just not interested whatsoever. It didn't feel, this story was not interesting at all, because it felt as if it was taken from the ideas of Deus Ex, like Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Especially one half of it anyway. The other half felt as if it was almost like a mirrored version of it. And like every enemy felt the same. Every enemy felt like they were out to get something for themselves, but they all felt the same. None of them felt like individuals. And here's a massive issue with finishing the game now, because you'll actually, most of you would probably actually notice this, but once you finish the game, London doesn't appear to have become well off without the villains being in the game. It looked like London has become a lot worse than when you started out. I mean, when you started out the game, London was clean. There were people, there were homeless people, yes, but there were far less homeless people back then at the start of the game than when you actually get to the end of the game. Because now it seems like crime is just running rampant. There's gang members all over the place, a lot more now that you finish the game. It makes no sense. You think that you'd be actually like taking down these enemies and taking down all these villains that are trying to take over London and run it for themselves to better the situation for everybody else. But that doesn't seem to be the case, because even though I've finished the game now, I still cannot draw from any point in the actual story that I was actually interested in, or even any of the villains that I felt as if was impressive in any way, because I felt as if they were just generic villains I've come across in previous video games, in previous titles, and none of them set the bar to be different from each other. They all feel the same. And when you do something like that, when you don't even like put in the bare minimum to make an impressive villain, you've already like slightly failed in the story as it is. What's the point of having a villain if they're not impressive, if they're not memorable? If you don't actually like hate this person in some sort of way towards the end of the game, what was the point of even going up against them? Now, one thing I do want to touch on is the fact that this game does have a diverse character selection when it comes to job roles, skill sets, and even weaponry and stuff like that, but it all is outshined by the fact that you have two characters in the game. One, which is the Hitman class, which I've seen a lot of clickbait videos mentioning the fact that this character is John Wick, and yet I don't understand how this character can be John Wick when you can actually get the Hitman class as a male or female. I don't get how that's John Wick. That's just a Hitman. You don't clickbait your damn videos by calling it John Wick. Another thing is that the accents in the games are very on point. From the London accents, the Scottish accents, the Caribbean accent, which is very hard to actually say, because dude, there is not a single bit of entertainment, anything that I can say that there is impressive Caribbean accents in, because come on, we all seen them out there. R.I.P. Luke Cage. But one thing that is a setback when it comes to the accents though is the lip sync. Now, one way how I definitely managed to combat this was basically covering up my character's mouths, as you can see right here. The lip sync is slightly a bit broken when it comes to the majority of the characters. Not all of them, just there's a huge majority, and it kind of like bugs me, so I just cover up their mouths, and that's just one way how I managed to combat it. If Ubisoft can somehow fix that down the line, just so that everybody else doesn't have the same issue that I do, it will get sorted. But for now, like I said, the accents are on point. It's just that it has a slightly broken lip sync. Now, like I was saying before, there are many different characters you can actually select from with different attributes, different skills, different traits, different weapons, but they're massively outshined by the fact that you can literally create one character, which is the Hitman, and they not only have 2 weapons, a combat dodge roll, an insta-kill, and also access to all the gadgets in the game, but they also have access to the spiderbot. The spiderbot being the most broken gadget in the game, literally outshining every single gadget, every single other character. Because the simple fact is, this not only can the spiderbot move faster once it's fully upgraded, can turn invisible and double jump, the thing can take people down and then turn them invisible to stop other enemies from seeing them in the area. So you're telling me that not only am I running around with the most deadliest character in the game, but I'm running around with God as well? Like, seriously, Spiderbot can do anything to the point where I literally think this game should have been called, you know, Watchdogs Spiderbot. Like, just straight up Watchdogs Spiderbot. Because that's what you're mostly going to be massively using throughout the entire game. The majority of entrances, the fact that you can throw it over fences into areas and just use it to run around anywhere you like, and the fact that it can take down enemies, like, what's the point of actually entering an enemy area territory anymore and getting discovered when you can just use the spiderbot to hack everything? It makes no sense for it to put your character in danger. I doubt this would be any different even if you turned on the permadeath mode, because the permadeath mode I think would actually make it even worse for the majority of the characters you can recruit, because it will make you feel even more disconnected to the characters, because I doubt you're going to even learn any of their names. I haven't. I literally only have learned the classes that they are, which is Hitman, Spy, Street Artist, Policeman, Albion Soldier, and such and such. It's not that like I said, the characters are recruitable, but they're not that interesting to the point where they're memorable. You will overuse the Hitman and the Spiderbot, and you have the option to go to other characters and use them, but I massively doubt that you will. Now, there are massive drawbacks to the fact that you have so much characters to recruit, but they're massively overshined by the Hitman and Spiderbot. Is that the fact that yes, you will have these characters to recruit, but there'll be no use for them, because again, the main selling point was the fact that you'd be able to recruit Albion soldiers, gang members, and police officers to be able to sneak into areas, but it's just as fast to just use the Spiderbot or the Hitman to just either kill everybody or sneak in with the Spiderbot. There's no point of actually using the 3 different factions of enemies or recruiting them to actually sneak into those areas. The only point I would see to recruiting a doctor or even a policeman and a lawyer is the fact that if your Hitman does take a hit somewhere and goes down, or even gets captured by the police, there will be released faster. So if you recruit like lawyers and police officers, it doubles the speed up time of the arrest, and if you recruit multiple doctors, it speeds up the recovery time from them coming out of hospital. So again, the only usefulness that those guys serve are basically recovery characters, not even like characters that you need to play with, just recovery characters. Now, another thing that this affects is the fact that there's hardly that much customization. I mean, there's technically practically any. I mean, yes, you do have clothes to customize your characters in and skins for your weapons and cars, but they don't seem to have that individual effect, you know, that spark, that skin that makes you want to put it on your character and just wear it for the entire game, or even be interested in changing the skins of your guns and weapons and stuff like that. There is a lack of weapon customizations as well, from the fact that the Watchdogs or DedSec weapons this time around is far less impressive than the ones that you had in Watch Dogs 2. I mean, they're far less impressive than the ones you had in Watch Dogs 1. You had a light machine gun in Watch Dogs 1 that you could carry around on your main character, but the only way to get a light machine gun into this one is to recruit either one particular character or an Albion soldier, and even then, you have a lack of ammo in the gun. It makes no sense that you're carrying around a light machine gun but you have a lack of ammo. It makes no sense. And then the actual fact that your other primary weapons that you probably come across is like shotguns. The shotguns in this game, not impressive. Like, they have mad range and a bit of damage, but you just don't feel like you want to use them. You're gonna be using the Hitman with its Desert Eagle and auto rifle more than anything else in this game. Another thing as well when it comes to actually recruiting these characters is the fact that all the missions are the same. Every single recruiting mission literally feels the exact same. And I'm not even talking about feels, they are the same. All the recruiting missions are basically just the same quest over and over and over again. You either need to download something, erase something, drive a car into the Thames, recover a freaking drug software or drug list that then you need to go and steal a car that has meds in it that you need to deliver to a location and leave it there for someone else to collect. They're all the same missions. Even the 404 missions, they're all the same. You just go to an area and download a bit of software. That's it. That's literally it. So you have a generic story, repetitive missions, characters that you're not even gonna need to play with throughout the majority of the game unless it forces you in that one mission to play as an Albion soldier, which I know for a fact you are gonna be annoyed with, because playing as an Albion soldier in that area, you literally light up every single character's suspicion bar almost instantly. And trust me, I will not be playing this game with the permadeath mode on, because I wouldn't have I wouldn't have any reason or even have any satisfaction in playing it with the permadeath mode on. I just want to get to the end of this game, platinum it, and then move on to Assassin's Creed Valhalla once it comes out. At this point in time, I would even say I want to go back to Watchdogs 2, because Watchdogs 2 had a far more impressive cast of characters to play with, to even interact with. I mean, come on, all of us remembers Wretch, all of us remembers Marcus. They're all impressive characters that we came across in number 2, and it was just a fun game overall. Watch Dogs Legion doesn't feel fun. I mean, even in the trailer where you see the one guy jump on one of the drones and it goes flying through the sea at like high speeds. Yeah, the drone that you jump on in this, it goes like 5 miles an hour or a second. I don't even know, but the top speed is like 5. I'm not even joking. I've seen the number come up while I'm riding it. It barely moves across the skyscrapers, and it doesn't even have that much height on it as well. It only goes up to like a particular height, and then once you get there, you don't actually go any higher. Now, going forward, I do hope that the DLCs for this game are a lot better than what the actual main game was, because that would be the only reason for me to come back to Watch Dogs Legion at this point after I've actually finished it, because I have finished it now and there's no end game anything. There's like no end game anything for you to do. There's a lot of 404 side missions, but like I said, the 404 side missions are the exact same thing over and over again, and it makes the game very boring. The final trophies for the game seem very tedious, and also there's even like a slight glitch on some of them. I think they had to do an update the other day just for you to get the recording trophy as well, where you have to like collect the different recordings, because I didn't get the trophy until after the update. Like, I literally logged into the game and the trophy popped up on my screen saying that I already did it. So if I already did it, why didn't it come up before that? Clearly the trophy was lagged. There's even another trophy for paste ups, which is basically like graffiti art and stuff like that. You can't do it with a different character. You have to do it with one character. So my advice to you would be, if you are going to buy this game and do some of these challenges and like attempt to platinum this game, if you're doing the paste up trophy, recruit a street artist, and then only do the paste ups when using the street artist. There's 47 of them, really easy to find, not that hard to do as well. But yeah, use the street artist, that way you know that it's the street artist that's keeping track of how many paste ups you've done. That way it makes it a lot easier for you to actually get all of them, and it doesn't actually frustrate you having to go back and use one character to do all 47 all over again just to, you know, be sure. Now, I just want to say that this game has reinforced my whole idea of not wanting to pre-order or even /buy games from day one, because not only did this game disappoint me, it failed me as a fan of the series. It completely failed. I remember playing Watch Dogs 1 and loving the game, even with all the things that they didn't put into the game and all the promises that they made and they didn't deliver. I remember playing Watch Dogs 2 and absolutely loving the hell out of that game. I could not put it down. I even managed to replay it a bunch of times, but Watch Dogs Legion has failed the bar so drastically. Their main selling point was the fact that you need to recruit a team and each individual member of the team would be effective throughout the game. That is not the case. I played with one character and one gadget through the entire majority of the thing, and the only other character I switched over to was the spy. Any other character there was just there for me to just have fun with and mess about in the game. They weren't there to be useful or anything. Now, I just want to say that I do hope that they manage to fix all these problems towards the next DLCs or even after the other DLCs, like the lip sync and the glitches, and then other people will be able to play the game fluently without all these problems. And as it stands at the moment, I won't be recommending this game to anyone. Now, I've been your King 117. Thank you if you made it this far in my video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for when my next videos come up. I will be doing more like this in the future. And again, thank you for watching.